My name is Mario Boyd. I served in the National Guard and then I switched to the active army. I served at Fort Hood and I deployed to Iraq 2 times. It wasn't the best experience, but it was a lifelong experience. I was born in South Carolina, but now I live in Mexico and I'm probably going to be here for a while. I've been here for 15 years. Enlisted maybe about 1 year after 9/11. I enlisted in the National Guard. It was about 2001, 2002, around that time. I basically did it because I didn't have a job to escape, to get away, and I tried the National Guard at first. I actually volunteered to deploy with them. We were just in formation one day, and the first sergeant was like, "Who wants to go to Iraq?" And I was like, "I'm a dishwasher. I hate my job. You know what? I'll do it." It was difficult and fun and easy experience all at the same time, all wrapped in one.
So what were some of the things that you did while you served?
I enlisted to do a logistics job, but when we found out we were doing to Iraq, they asked people if they wanted to go like on convoys as gunners and drivers, and I'm like, you know what? That's pretty cool. It beats just sitting on the base. So we got to go out and escort a lot of the convoys on my first deployment from 2003 to the end of 2004. And it was a very fun experience because I had an opportunity to meet a lot of people from different backgrounds I never could imagine myself hanging out with, and that was a pretty cool experience. The deployment itself was kind of difficult because, being away from home for a long time, the stress of working every day in a dangerous environment, that was pretty horrible. There were explosions sometimes, and that's what really impacted me all the way up until 2025. So I deployed, then I came home, and then, like, you know what? I kind of like the army, so I found a way to go active duty. At the end of 2005, I got to Fort Hood around November 2005, found out that unit was deploying in 2006, and I was like, man, why not? So we go to that time, we deployed from 2006 to 2007. That was a very intense deployment, doing the same job of going out on convoys, but the tempo, it was crazy because like you basically didn't get a day off. So imagine always going out on the road, every once in a while an explosion, getting shot at. That's what impacted me. After that second deployment, that's what really got me. I just didn't know. And the only thing that I could do with cope from the deployment, I started drinking a lot to run from whatever was bothering me. I would just start drinking a lot. My performance at work changed. And they was like, hey man, like what's going on with you? And I was like, no, I'm good. But my drinking, my substance abuse, it got worse to the point where like, we're gonna give you a second chance. We're gonna send you away to get help or whatever. But the psychological stuff, it just kind of got looked over. It wasn't taken seriously, I guess, during that time. PTSD, the adjustment things, nobody was taking it seriously. But that was really going on with me. It wasn't alcohol and substance abuse. It was more mental issues that I wasn't aware of. And my behavior, it was crazy. So it was 2007, substance abuse continued. So they were like, hey, we're going to chapter you out. But it wasn't for substance abuse. It was for PTSD. But at that time, they didn't know it was that severe. So I go to the civilian world. I try to go to school, but I guess the way I was behaving, I would just be out of it sometimes or forgetful, and I would just stop the work or the school. You just give up. You go into isolation. Then I get good again, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna do good, and then the same thing would happen. I moved to Mexico with my wife, and I would be good, but then whatever would make my brain go crazy, everything would just stop. I would forget project. I would get things mixed up. I would basically just isolate myself. I would snap at coworkers sometimes, and then I would get fired from a job. And then I'd go back to school. And then in 2016, I became a teacher. The PTSD symptoms, they came back severe to the point to where like I'm embarrassed to say like I wouldn't do things like take a shower, or I would get my classes mixed up, or I would just completely not do my job correct. And then it started spilling onto my home life, my personal life, my wife, my family, my friends. So I was like, what can I do? The Department of Veterans Affairs are not trying to help me. It's not about money. I'm trying to get access to resources. So I went on Google one day and I started calling different attorneys, different lawyers, and I can't remember the name of the first company, but they were like basically no help at all. Just wasted my time and I spent money. The second company, and then like I saw Hill Ponton and I was like, these guys look like they can really help me. I seen people's testimonies. So I called and then I did a lot of interviews, like over a year and a half. And then like I hit a roadblock because what I was trying to apply for, I got denied. And I can't remember who I spoke to. It was somebody from the company, a very nice lady. I was like, you know what? I give up. And she was like, no. She was like, you can't. We're going to fight for you. This isn't over. And then at the end of December, I received an email and basically like, hey, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Everything's slow right now because of holidays. And then January, I got another call and they said someone's going to give you a call. And then I did like two more interviews and assessments. And then things went silent. And then it was in March, like I logged on to e-benefits and I was like, no way. And basically, every other company that I tried to get help and they didn't help me. Hill and Ponton, they basically helped me go from getting my 70% decrease to 30% to going from that from 70% to 100%. And I have no idea who this team is, but every once in a while somebody would reach out to me personally through email or phone call and just be like, relax. Because I would flood these people with emails, hey, Stephanie, whoever, what's going on? I'm nervous about this. And I feel so much more relief now because I have access to the benefits that I could get. And this is not about some big paycheck. Hill Ponton really, really, literally saved my life. If it was not for the young lady who spoke to me on the phone because I was just out of it. You know what? I'm done with this. I'm just so stressed out with these other companies. And if I can recommend any veteran out there who wants help, contact Hill Ponton. They will help you. From the second I picked up the phone, they were on it. They got access to records for me that I cannot get a hold of, things that I didn't even know. This is relief because I can share my story with other veterans. What they did to me, for me in 2 years, nobody else has done it in 15 years. And I'm so happy that I can tell my story.